what happened was true.
And as far as fan reaction has been over the years, that they think Leatherface is real, that this really, I mean, that based on true events, is the way it was promoted. Do you have those kind of reactions still from fans?
I get a lot of fans who think it's a real story, and people will say to me just yesterday, somebody said to me, I'm from Copper's Cove. He said, I grew up in Copper's Cove, Texas, and so that movie was especially frightening to me because it happened in Copper's Cove. Copper's Cove was an early incarnation. Nowadays, most people say it happened in Corsicana. Mm-hmm. But so many people are convinced it's true, and most of the time I try to say, well, it didn't really happen. But sometimes when I say that, they get very angry at me, and they're very upset that I would want to destroy that truth. And I mentioned earlier, when we were talking about there's a great website run by Tim Harden, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the locations. Mm-hmm. And in that, he talks about the fact that this is not based on a true story. It just didn't happen. And he got this angry, angry letter from a woman accusing him of being nothing more than a Holocaust denier, that he was no better than a Holocaust denier for denying the truth of this brutality. And he didn't know what to do, so he did the best thing of all. He just posted the letter on his website. But I get that, and I have people say to me, how can you make a movie like that would show such disrespect to the survivors, to the families of those who died? And when the new one came out. But most of the people, though, when I do say, no, it really didn't happen, they're very surprised, but they're willing to accept it. I mean, it's not like an earth-shaking, but there are a few. Right after the remake came out, I was down in Myrtle Beach, and doing an appearance, and this woman comes up, and she starts talking about how it happened here and happened there, and I said to her, well, it didn't happen. And she says to me, if it didn't happen, where did they get that police footage at the end of the movie?
Yeah, she's got you there.
And I said, they shot that too? And it was like a light went off. She goes, oh yeah. I thought that, by the way, that black and white police footage was the scariest thing in that movie.
As far as the character of Leatherface, was there a certain way that you approached him? Because to me, it's always seemed like that he was more innocent than the other two. That maybe he was more manipulated by the other two, that he just didn't know any better in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he was clearly psychotic and clearly extremely violent.
Right.
And for those of you who are politically correct and retarded, I'm not implying that if you're psychotic and mental problems, or if you're retarded, that you're violent.
We can put up a disclaimer.
But, I mean, those were the three characteristics. I mean, he was really psychotic, he was violent, and he was severely retarded. But he was also scared to death of his family. And I think a lot of what you watch in that film is he's trying really hard to please the family. The only reason Leatherface goes out and desiccates, that's sort of like defecate.
There you go.
It desecrates the graves is because he does what the hitchhiker tells him to. The hitchhiker wants to go mess with the graves, Leatherface comes along because he does what he's told. And I think he's desperate to please his family, which is why when they come home, he's in the kitchen making dinner, and comes out of the kitchen, from the kitchen with that, I think he's got a big fork in his hand, and he's wearing the old lady mask with the gray hair and the bun, and he's got that frilly apron on, and he's like trying to be the mom, and clearly, he pats Grandpa on the head and kisses him, he wants Grandpa to be happy too, so I think he's got that. I think that's the whole psychology of the character. He's just like...
abused.
Abused, yeah, well, you don't want to mess with him too much, but I mean, I think he is that person who is afraid of them. He'll do what they tell him. He's very violent, but on the other hand, he's killing these kids because they're coming into his house. I think Sally... When does he start chasing Sally?
After.
Oh, that's right. He's in the yard. That's right. They're in the yard. They come in, and that's right. He kills Franklin. But I think that's what goes on with him. I don't think he'd be wandering off beyond the property without the urging of the hitchhiker.